Hey guys, welcome to Nerdarchy, for nerds by nerds. I'm Ted, and today I'm hanging out with
Nerdarchy Dave.
And today we're talking Earth, Wind, Air, Fire. Not Captain Planet, but the Genasi.
Jump down in the description below where you can find Nerdarchy the newsletter, get weekly tips as well as learn how to game with us.
Alright, so the Genasi, some people call it Genasi. There's all different kinds of ways of pronouncing it, but however you want to talk about it, or however you want to name it.
I think Genasi is probably about right because it's based off of the Jinn.
You have the elemental races, and they're pretty cool because they're all planar creatures, essentially.
It's interesting about the Genasi because there are several ways that you can acquire your heritage, right? You can be born of another creature who, I guess Genasi, it's not like you're a half-breed, but like several generations removed, in your lineage is an elemental creature, because you know how it gets weird in the monster manual. and then you manifest. Also, it talks about how you could have just been born near like the right circumstances and you kind of were infused with the elements of that plane. Both of them, I feel like it's going to change, how that character interacts with the world and possibly their view on the world. Where if you're just the one that it just kind of happened to, like you're just born in the right place or the wrong place at the right or wrong time, depending on how you look at it. What does that mean? Like, was it a tribal society where, this is a blessing and you're born under favorite stars according to the folklore and the myths of your people, or is it a bane or a curse? Are you a freak, or is this part of your heritage, part of your lineage, and only the most fortunate of your line actually manifest the Genasi traits?
Right. I think each of those makes for a very, very, very great story options, whether you're talking about an NPC or the actual player character. And I think that there's a lot that can be done with that if you want to build on those things. Yeah,
I mean, essentially you're going to have a character that you can play them as fated, and like, do they embrace it, or is it crushing them?
From either side, because there's times that it's like, all right, yeah, I'm a horrible, hideous freak. Boo! and people run, and there's times where it's like
I scare small children for fun.
And then there's other times where it's like, all right, I'm supposed to be this positive thing, and yet there's all these downsides of my life that keep happening. I don't think I'm this fated creature. I want to be normal.
Yeah. Exactly. And then you also have the four element aspect as well. And, how do those traits manifest themselves in your personality? Right. Do they even at all? Like, maybe you're just a regular dude. It's like, my head's on fire, but other than that, I'm kind of like Joe Average. There's nothing going on. Or, are you really a firebrand and you're a firecracker and you have a fiery personality? Right. Or stoic and solid.
Right.
With slow pondering.
Are you air? Are you flighty and whimsical? I don't remember exactly what the waters are. They calming?
Fluid, calm, contemplative. Yeah, so these are all personality traits that you can take on, and not only that too, you also manifest with all of them a little bit of power to control that element and manifest it. You're special, no matter what. In a good way.
And you're going to stand out. So that's something to take into account as well. You're not going to really be able to easily hide that you're different. And if you're walking around as an elf, you can wear your hair over your ears and you might just look as a little bit thin. And to someone not truly paying attention, you might be able to get away with being human or half elf. Whereas these guys, they stand out. You're Genasi. And
if you're earth, you look like you're kind of carved of stone. If you're fire, your eyes may blaze or your hair might kind of be on fire.
Well, I mean, the picture they have here, all of the skin color is distinctly different. Yeah. So, like the air one looks like you're part orc. So, like, are you getting confused with a half orc?
Oh, and that's the other interesting aspect of Genasi. It doesn't really go into it, but there's no reason why you could be of any race, right, and just aesthetically look like that race mixed with the Genasi traits.
Right.
and just use the stat block for the Genasi. Especially if you're going with either background, it doesn't even matter.
I think that's actually a great way to really play up more a more interesting character. Anytime you have these things that you're essentially planar, and like, oh, I'm a this race, but I'm taking that stat block.
Dwarven, water Genasi, or half orc fire Genasi.
The only real issue is just like, well, what happens if somebody wants to play a halfling? Because they're distinctly a different size category.
Small. Well, it doesn't make that much difference in this edition, though.
That's true. This is not third edition where there's size modifiers that affect things.
So I mean, really, it would just be aesthetic. It would make small changes like the not being able to use weapons with the heavy property, but for the most part, it wouldn't really change your character very much.
Right.
Also, the thing with the Genasi, no matter where you're from, what your origin is, you could easily play the fish out of water character, because you're always going to be that. You're always going to kind of be the outsider.
And I think that again goes back to the elements of you look different. And while we still struggle with things in the modern world about differences, in D&D there are a lot more cultures that have that aspect, and when you look different, you're going to be treated different.
Yeah, one way or the other.
Right.
It can raise you up or drag you down. These are all choices and decisions to make when you're fleshing out your character. The Genasi has, probably one of the most diverse ranges that you can go with of all the different races in the D&D world you could play, just because of the simple fact that you could layer them on top of almost anything.
Right.
And and you could you could develop how you're going to play that character around the core race that you're modeling it after, and also the fact that you're a Genasi.
You have the core race of what your shell looks like. Then you're going to choose the actual race of Genasi. Then you choose your sub race of which of these four elements. Then you choose what kind of attitude are you going to play? Are you going to go the stereotypical, or the atypical, or somewhere in between? So like the branches just become huge on this character tree.
Yes, and it's driven by these like three specific elements, but they can take you in a different direction. So you could literally make a Genasi character, and you could make them for a while before you ever play the same character over again.
Correct.
There's a lot of options there.
I absolutely agree with you.
You guys, let us know your best Genasi character. How did you portray them? How did you play them? We got a place for that. It's the comments. While you're at it, like, share, and subscribe.
You can support us over on Patreon.
So until next time,
stay nerdy.